Welcome to this first look video for No Man's Sky Beyond. And what can I say, guys? It's been a fairly stressful couple of days since the update came out on the 14th of August. I think I finally got on top of the situation, but apologies if the sound quality is a little bit off and maybe this gameplay may not be as smooth as it should be. And I think probably the best way is for me to explain what happened, and because it may help some of you guys, especially if you're having a few problems, also especially if you intend to record No Man's Sky content. But I'm also aware that maybe some of you aren't particularly very interested, so if you want to just look at me wandering around doing the first impressions, feel free to jump forward the timestamp. So what has actually happened since the Beyond update came out? Well, I was probably one of a fairly small group of people who couldn't even start the game, and that was it. It would literally start and crash, and I must admit I had quite a frustrating few hours trying to work out what the heck was going on, and I finally managed to get to the bottom of the problem. And I suppose what made it even more annoying is I borrowed my wife's machine for a few hours and quite happily installed No Man's Sky on it, and it played straight out the box. It started, and then I went to an old machine I've got that even had Windows 7 on, and it had No Man's Sky on it because it used to be my old recording machine. And I, of course, I had to update it and do all sorts of other stuff, and that played out the box. So I had my current gaming machine wouldn't load, and I ended up in the bug release forums and looking around, and eventually someone said about the fact they had to update all the drivers. And I thought, well, why? I got machines with really out-of-date drivers that would play the game, and my machine wouldn't. And then I finally twigged, and the big difference between my machine and my wife's machine is that my machine is VR enabled, and I think this is quite important. So if you can't start No Man's Sky, it's very important that what you do is you get all your graphics drivers completely up to date. Because especially for the NVIDIA 1080 Ti that I've got, there was a release on the 27th of July, which seemed to be VR related, and that's the one that finally allowed me to start No Man's Sky. So there's a bit of a tip there, guys. If you're having problems loading the game, just make sure your graphics drivers is completely up to date. So that's the first part of this introduction done. The second part is probably going to be a little bit more complicated, and this is really aimed at any of you guys out there who are thinking about making your own content for YouTube, or even if you're planning on streaming. And that is that with the Beyond update, No Man's Sky went to a new encoding format called Vulkan. Now, if any of you guys are not sure what encoding formats are used to provide cross-platform support, effectively what happens is that the output comes out in a standard format. The old format, which is common for most games, is called OpenGL. What's happened is back in 2015, I think, Vulkan came out. Vulkan is more 3D orientated. It's a lot more high performance, and it's been slowly making progress in the gaming industry. And it's been appearing mainly in games like Doom and other first-person shooters. I think X4 has it as well, and it seems that Hello Games have decided to take the leap forward and use it in No Man's Sky. Now, it is a very good platform, but from a recording perspective, it does have a bit of a problem, because I use OBS Studio. Now, OBS Studio does direct game capture, which means effectively what happens is the recording software doesn't record what's on your monitor. It actually interprets the OpenGL code that comes out. But at the moment, like many recording software, and in fact I haven't really found one that seems to support Vulkan completely. I mean, if any of you guys know one that's out there, feel free to chuck it in the comments. OBS does not support Vulkan encoding directly. So that means that the only way you can record Vulkan games is by actually doing a display capture, which effectively means that you have to run the game in a window. And what you can see here is at the moment I'm currently running No Man's Sky in a borderless window, and then what I'm actually having to do is display capture it. Now, personally, I'm not a big fan of display capture because it does result sometimes in frame drops, because what you're actually recording is the video output to the monitor, and you're recording to the monitor. Now, one of the downsides of doing display capture is that when you use Alt-Tab to check the recording software, because obviously you've got the recording software running in the background, what happens is the preview on OBS goes black, because you've actually Alt-tabbed out of the window, so it goes black, and sometimes it will flip over. But the problem is when you Alt-tab back, it doesn't often pick up the window again. But of course you can't see it hasn't picked up the window because it's behind the window where the game is running in. So what I've actually had to do is go to 2 monitors, and that means that what you can do is you can play the game in the borderless window, and then on the second monitor you can actually see the output to the recording software, and that's exactly what I'm doing now. Cut a long story short, guys, is that what I've had to do is effectively set up a second monitor, and in the process I was already planning on moving to a new recording setup. That's the reason why there's been a bit of a delay me producing No Man's Sky content. In fact, it's shot all my content to schedule. And so just to wind up, guys, if you're getting into recording videos, be aware that the Vulkan is improving. Now, there is a possibility that sometime in the future the various recording software will start to be able to capture Vulkan directly, but as far as I know, there's no great plans to do it. So you've got to use basically screen capture or display capture to record these games. And that effectively means that you're going to need a second monitor to do it successfully and with confidence, knowing that you actually know what you're recording, as opposed to just hoping that it is recording in the background while you actually do the game. Anyway, I think that's about it, guys. I don't want to waffle on too much about this, but that gives you an explanation, and hopefully this is going to be useful for any of you guys who are planning on recording content for YouTube or live streaming. We are now moving into a world of second monitors and that just increases your capital expenditure. Right, I'm going to stop now, guys, and we're actually going to get down to some gameplay. Now, I'm going to be completely honest, guys. I have quite literally played this update for about 15 minutes trying to do test recording. So this is very much me going in cold, which in some ways I was planning on doing anyway. And if any of you guys follow the channel, you'll be aware that I am talking about doing a permadeath series, but I'm going to put that on hold for a few days, because if any of you guys have been watching other people's content, I think the PS4 has been hit harder than the PC. There's been a few issues, there's been a few crashes, especially to do with the multiplayer and the Nexus. Even got a slightest idea how the Nexus works. I haven't even been there. As I say, all I've done so far is walked around my base a little bit. So I think we're just going to jump in, guys, have a walk around, and I suppose the first thing I really want to say is, and I think and this is the product of Vulkan, everything looks so much sharper and clearer. And I have to admit, I watched somebody streaming in VR, and to be honest, I wasn't very over impressed. Everything looks slightly out of focus. I mean, I don't know if that's common. I mean, I only watched a little bit of somebody streaming in VR, but everything just seemed slightly out of focus. But I must admit, walking around the base here, everything seems to be really crisp, in focus. You know, all these build, even compared to, you know, before Beyond. And of course, one of the first things that strike you here is that the landing pad has disappeared from my base. I think everyone who had bases for landing pads have lost them, but as far as I know, the landing pads haven't been removed from the game. It's just that they're a lot bigger. I suppose what they are now is multi-pad landing pads, I suppose is probably the best way to describe it. So I suppose what Hello Games did is they took the decision to remove the landing pads from all the bases so that we could rebuild them again. I've got no idea how big they are, and I'm just going to have a walk around here. It says here, powering the base, learn the biofuel reactor, learn base modules for summit construction. Now I do know that there's a whole tech system out there which needs to be explored, and I suppose oh, there's my ship. I think what I'm going to be a little bit honest, guys, I don't really want to get into too much depth of the game in these kind of walkthroughs until I start the permadeath series, because what I want to do really is experience the game from the beginning. Let's have a look in the Construction Research Unit. Actually, I think so. Buildable Technology Structures. Okay, let's just have a look. Now, I did see, just watched Xaine's video. Xaine has done a very good video. I'll put a link in the video description on the various tech trees. And so what we got here, so we got core habitation. We got a biofuel reactor. We need salvage data to get that. Electrical wiring. Now, oh yeah, because of course bases are now powered. We'd have to go and get some salvage data. Just have a quick look through. So I must admit, I do really like these tech trees. But more importantly, one thing I think that makes Beyond worth everything, and as I say, Xaine demonstrated it in his video, was the advanced manufacturing now. So if you come down here, I've got to remember to press the right buttons. I must admit, if I kind of pause from time to time, guys, it's because I'm catching the recording software in my right eye. My second monitor's to the right, and it's a little bit distracting. I think it's going to take me a little while to get the hang of things. Now, I've come in here just to talk about the advanced manufacturing, and one of the things that's always annoyed me a little bit with advanced manufacturing is actually seeing the structure to say I can make a fusion igniter. Now, there is a way where you can actually look at that tree so you actually can see the components you actually need to, how can you say, make those units here. So that's pretty good. And I'm just going to go and look in the base. I'm a little bit worried about whether my base has been damaged. But you can really see the clarity here. And a little bit of kind of, what you call it. Let me just see. Let me just adjust something. P, isn't it? And this is the new kind of options discovery side here. This is the new discovery screen, what you've got here, and then what you do is you click on here. I did check this out, and you get really nice pictures of the flora. Oh no, you've got the fauna here, so you can actually, that's it. I did have a quick look through this screen. So you have lost contact with online discovery services. Thank you. Then you've got this catalog here of all the different resources, and like this. Then we got the milestones, which I've just finished. I'm really looking forward to doing the permadeath and redoing these milestones. Journey milestones, yes. And we got this log here. So we got to craft a portable reactor. I'm not sure why it wants me to craft a portable reactor. Beginnings, so new beginnings, beginning space anomaly. So this is very much the same. Then we've got this guide in here, which I suppose I better think about reading. Learning words, space. Now, one impression I have got, I mean, I haven't watched a lot of videos, and that's not because I don't like the content that's being produced, is I'm consciously avoiding watching too many videos because I don't want, I'm effectively, I'm just trying to avoid spoilers. I mean, I've just looked at a little bit curiosity, but I just don't want, I want to explore and learn everything there. Space station cartographer. Okay. And this is where I'm getting to, guys. I mean, what they've done is they've changed the option screen, so you've got there now, and I've forgotten what I'm looking at. Control options. Vibration of flight control remap. Actually, let's work down here. There is something. Let me just see again. Sorry. Hold to confirm enabled. That's the one I want to turn off. This is a feature which is there, and I think if you can find something to click on now. This should work. Oh no. What it should do is that when you click on interact with things now, it should work a lot quicker. Maybe I've just switched it off. Give data planets. Okay. Oh, what's this then? Take the nanites and compensation. Nanites. Wow. He's just giving me. Oh, we're going to go around and I just got 5. Not that I need 5,000 nanites, but I detected a location of interest. Let me go there. Control of the exocraft. Track the signal down. Purchase exocraft upgrades. So, so we can get the upgrades from here. I'm not so sure about that because to me, that's just another feature that's kind of trying to reduce the grind, and it means that it reduces the amount that you're actually going to go out and explore, I think. So let's see here. See the world, and all I see is a world of glass. Grant me some comfort. Okay. Collect images of places you visit so my eyes may follow. Okay, we'll just accept that. Taking the library of loading the image requirements into your multi-tool. Take care. Okay, visit your old friends in the space anomaly. Well, we might as well complete the set. Let's see what this guy's got. These images look really clear now. Intellect, the sinister here. You should be heard to meet this day. You'll be glorious traveller. Yet again, looks at me with pride. Placing my ward under threat and getting a summons made Sentinel's pointless battle. Yeah, I'm not going to go fighting Sentinels just at the moment. It'd be a little bit tricky to get embarrassed. Now, one thing I do know is that this actually, it says insufficient power. Okay, so the teleporter doesn't work. Let's have a look around here. Getting a little bit of intrusion from. Looks like my galactic trade terminals dropped down a little bit. So, for some reason. Oh, ha! And we've got. Wow, see that bounce around the room? So that's not working. And effectively it means, oh look at this, it means you've got to connect up all your bases. And to me this is another reason for starting a game. Because I'm not sure, I mean, can we actually get up the ladder? I mean, will the ladder actually work if it's not powered? I was able to get up here. But these won't work. Okay. So everything has to be powered up. I want to go that way. I'm lost in my base at the moment. Now the other thing I have noticed is that, well, if I can get outside, because of course one of the features of this update is actually food. But if I get out here, I'm not seeing any new bars or anything like that. You can see we got the life support here, which we got here, but I've seen nothing in here to do with food, so I do wonder whether the food is just another manufacturing item. We got cargo here. Okay, let's have a quick, let's just get through. I'm sorry guys, I'm jumping around the place because I'm actually, I do like this setup compared to where it was before. And somebody did say in a video that things were stackable. I suppose what we could do is cargo, and I think what we're going to do is send this back to the exosuit. Well, the exosuit. So it looks like what people are saying, that you can store large amounts of items, only relates. I guess it. I'm going to need to check this, but I would say that where they were saying you can store really large quantities of items, I would say that that only applies to if you play normal mode. So, and don't take offense to this, guys, but it's obviously that they've normal mode set up for anyone who just wants to rush through the game with no risk. But it looks like what they've done is they haven't changed it for survival mode, and I would guess that that also means that permadeath is in a similar situation. Because, yeah. So yeah, so it says move stack. Yeah, so it won't let you stack on top. So the current limits are the same. Let me just get to here, cargo. Yeah, so they haven't changed the limits for that. And this, I guess the starship is the same. Yeah. I mean, I will have to start a normal playthrough. So that hasn't changed. Multi-tool, so this all looks very similar. Exocraft looks similar. Freighter, yeah, freighter's still limited to 1,000 as well. That's good. I know some of you guys would say, oh, it's still, but to me, even before Beyond came out, we had more than enough storage space. I mean, if you can't work with 48 slots here, another 48 slots here, and a starship capacity. I mean, I really wish that Hello Games had sorted out their storage on the ships. I mean, it'd be nice if you could move these over. I mean, you can now move these, which is great, because like the way this ship is laid out, this is another reason why I want to start a game, because I just don't want to plow through and redo everything here. So everything there is pretty good. I'm really liking the base, and the question is, how the heck am I going to get out of here? Because I don't think I mean, how does the scanner work? Sweet route. What on earth is sweet route? Let's go and have a look at the scanner here. Sorry, this is all a bit disjoint, guys, but I am quite literally stumbling through this, looking at things. So what is sweet route? New item recorded in catalog, sweet route. Okay. Exosuit. Sweet route. Raw ingredient. An edible plant harvested from plant for process in the nutrient process to generate edible products. Yeah, thank you, game. I'm not too impressed with the noise of the scanner. Because the trouble is I've scanned everything on this planet, so that still works as normal. I think what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to try and get out of here, but the problem is that without the teleporter, life could be interesting, and I'm not sure if there's another planet in this system that I can do. And of course, I'm pretty sure this system doesn't have a space station. So, well, in some ways that is going to be pretty good. Actually, it's just going to drop a save game, I presume. Do you see that way that cockpit came up? It's almost like the cockpit canopy was closing. I mean, that's great. I'm not sure about the clouds though. Right, what I'm going to do is get up into space, because in this system there is no... Yep. Visit the space anomaly. Visit your old friends. Okay. Wonder if the space anomaly will get me out of this system. Now, I'm a bit worried about this because I've heard a few horror stories about the space anomaly, that people have crashed upon entering it. So I'm a little bit worried. Now, if any of you guys are interested, I've got multiplayer switched off at the moment. Well, I think I've got multiplayer switched off because oops, wow. Simply because I think that's the way I had it before. And I'm a little bit worried. In fact, let's just have a quick look at the mild options. Network and voice. Yeah, I've got multiplayer switched off. Can join anyone. Can damage other players. I presume because I've got that switched off, this is okay. Now, I think I'm going to leave that just for the moment, because I think it's when you've got multiplayer switched on is when the game actually crashes. Must admit, this looks really spectacular. I'm not sure exactly what we'll do. Now, this is the famous cube over here. I think this is where you get multiplayer missions. Yep, okay. Complete missions with other travelers to assist. I don't know whether you'll be able to do these by yourself, but I'm not going to get into accepting any missions. Okay, what are you offering me? Lord, you look ugly. Here is the safe and very welcome. Ask about this place. Nada, Polo and Nada are best equipped to describe this place between us. Okay. So he's... What if he'll give us any other storage lines here? And I think let's have a wander around. I must admit, wow, that's cool. I like that. I have to confess, guys, I was getting very frustrated with Hello Games for implementing Vulkan yesterday. There was a few descriptions which there's no way the YouTube morality censor would allow me to put into a video, but looking around this, I'm really impressed with the graphics. Stood Portal Stranger. There you have. Okay. Now it's on. Can't seem to be able to cancel this, so we're gonna have to go all the way through. Sorry about this. I'm trying to right click. Okay, leave. We'll go through him indirectly. So in some ways, this is going to be a bit of a cop out. Is it interstellar terminus teleporter? Let's have a look here. Okay, so this is going to take you to home portal, cactus fields. So these are other systems where people have registered stuff. Okay, that's pretty cool. Phosphor. So you can actually go back to your own bases here as well. So I'm assuming the yellow ones are stations belonging to other people, and these are my bases. You can get to your own bases here. Now that's pretty cool actually, because I was half expecting to be able to teleport anywhere from here, and I was about to say, well, that isn't particularly that good, because that means effectively you don't have to go to if you get into a system like this, you don't have to fly out. You just call in the nexus and away you go. Okay, what we got in here? What on earth is this? Now this is what used to be in the anomaly before, and it never used to do anything. So let's just have a quick look at this. Broadcast the message. Attempt to send a message into the simulation. It does not work. So it looks like this is still there. I mean, to me, this looks like future story content here. So let's just keep wandering around. But as I say, I am blown away by these graphics, and I forgive Hello Games for implementing Vulkan. And I mean, I understand it is quite a big step forward, and it's quite important, especially from the perspective of VR. I don't know, can we do anything with this? No, it doesn't look like it. I think these are the guys where you get the research tech from, so we're just going to have a look at those. And just have a look. Research Starship upgrades. Yeah. So this is it looks like I've got all the Starship upgrades to do. So I presume if you come in here, that takes away some of the random element of the game. Destruction Research Terminal. So this is just duplicating the one down on the base. But must admit, I do like this inventory structure, so you can actually see the path where before with the old system it was very much a bit of guesswork, and you can see everything that's going to get here. Tech panel, yes. I mean, obviously I've got a lot of this unlocked, which is another reason why I would like that. Okay. Cost no. So I've actually been able to get the electrical wiring from here. Maybe I didn't understand the terminal back on my base. Okay. Well, I've unlocked the electrical wiring. Research exosuit. Let's have a quick look through here. Simple translator. What's this then? No. Automatic translation records and parses. Status word translated. Now I know there is a new language system, so you must need this translator to actually use part of it. 2 words translated. So if you actually got this, you actually get more words translated at any one time. I mean, that could be really good, because learning the language is a bit of a grind. So it looks like all the coolant networks, everything, protections have been switched off. Shield lattice. Okay, let me just check something. Well, these are enabled. So these are working, but that tells me. So I just want to check this again, guys. Sorry about this. Okay, well, I've got loads of... Gather user upstate. So you buy the formula, and then you've still got to actually install the slot. Now, can I put... So I can still install... Okay, let me just... I'm just doing this out of curiosity, guys. So you still are. So I was half expecting that you'd be limited, but you can actually still put the technology in here. And okay, that makes sense. So you buy 4 nanites, and then you go that way. What's that there? Nothing. This is multi-tool research. Search multi-tool upgrades. So this all looks familiar. What we got over here? Survey device. Yeah, I've already got this unlocked. Optical drill. Wafer thin gain amplifier cost. Wow, that looks cool. Plus 50% resources mined. Also, this self-contained circuitry for the analyst, by adding real-time terrain analysis to the scanning array. Okay, well. Okay. I mean, I've got so many nanites, it doesn't make a difference. I'm not too keen on the idea of this not you get a tech and then you've got to go back in again. We got here iteration process, research exocraft updates. Yeah, this all looks quite familiar. So it doesn't look like there's anything new with exocrafts. That's not to say that there won't be more new stuff in the future. What have we got up here? Oh, this is Nada and Polo. Wow. That's impressive. Right, what have we got on this side? Well, that looks very much like appearance modifier. Let's just have a quick look at this. So yeah, let's change resets. Thought his head had disappeared. So, it doesn't look like we've got many more options that way. Oh, is that different? Although probably the truth be hey, the truth be known, that's probably going to be added to, because one of the impressions I've got with the Beyond update, in fact, let's call it what it is, it's No Man's Sky 2.0, and I've got a feeling that, oh God, you look ugly. Offer me the work, offer the opinions, I promise I should be honest. Present sweet root. I do believe in anything more unpleasant that's ever passed my lips, however, did you ruin the sweet sodas? Okay. So he's obviously offering us missions. We've got to be honest that this is No Man's Sky version 2, and I think to a certain degree that you can still see a few gaps in here, because I mean, an example here is there's obviously going to be a possibility of something down here. This has been designed for future expansion. So yes, it's a nice, bright, crisp new game, but at the same time I get a feeling that there's certain points in here which are just anchors, like these characters here, like Helios, who are, I'm so tired. Okay, but these are going to be, how can you say, the future is probably the polite way of saying it. Anyway, I don't want to ramble on too much. Now, I thought you could customize ships. Can you? Is there any way you can customize ships? Maybe on my pad. Let's just have a quick look. I'm not seeing anything here to do with ship customization. I really like the way that canopy comes in. That's going to be really fascinating to get other ships. I'm just going to drop a save because I don't want to lose the progress. I think I've just realised that I've been going on quite a long time here, guys, and My original plan was to keep this video quite short. I think just to, well, I thought I was out the terminal. I think just to wind this video up, what we're going to do is I need to get to a system. I should have the warp fuel for this. Yes, I am. So what I'm going to do is we want to look at the new galactic map because this has changed. Wow. Again, this is a lot clearer than previously before. Wow, look at the top left there. That is really useful. That gives you, I mean, it's not detailed. I mean, but I mean, I don't know. Can you? No, you can't actually click on that map. But at least it gives you some indication of how far you're away from the galactic center. And right, got custom waypoints. That's interesting. Yeah. Pre-explore galactic core, and then we got the filters. Economy, life form. Okay. Now that's actually changed. We've actually got tags on here now to show what we're actually doing. So that's where we are. And what it looks like, what they've actually done is reduced the information down to targeted systems. So the only thing, what are these then? Are these where my bases are? I mean, it's probably going to be. Well, that's cool. If that's showing where your bases are and where other people's bases are, that could be very useful. To expand. So you can expand that. Data, conflict data running. They're comfortable. Yep. So we're just going to jump through. Yeah, sorry guys, I'm not going to get involved in the space battle. Right guys, what I'm going to do now is just going to get in the space station and I'm going to do an outro as I'm checking around, seeing if the space station is actually changed. So here we are. Again, the space station looks really clear. Oh look, we've got a ramp up here as well. So let's ramp on this side. And while I'm walking around here, I'll do the outro, guys. I'll give my first impressions. I like what I see. And I think there's still some components that are missing. I mean, from a permadeath survival type mode, I was hoping that food would be a factor as part of survival. It's pretty clear that it's not. This doesn't look like it's changed. And I suppose in some ways this is an example that in some ways they're making the game easier because there's so much duplication, which I do have reservations on, but I'm prepared to forgive Hello Games for what they've done because the graphics are so much better, and also I'm getting a lot better frame rates. At the moment I'm recording this and my frame rate monitor, which at the moment I'm still trying to work out how it works properly, so we can still get everything here, but so we can, so the basic technology has been taken out. These are just the upgrades. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, at the moment my frame rate indicator is saying that I'm recording this at about 70 frames a second, which is pretty good really, and it's actually going higher at certain times as well. We've still got that there. I'm not going to open up these guys. So yeah, so far I'm very impressed. I still was hoping a bit more for the story content, but maybe that will come with time, because looking around that nexus I can see the anchors, and I do have a suspicion that the real focus of this update was getting VR and multiplayer in. Okay. Oh, there's the other thing, isn't it? We're supposed to be able to sit down, aren't we? I find a chair. Well, they've closed that side off. Got the galactic terminal there. See if we can find a chair. Okay. So maybe over here. Let's just have a look. So, what are you, envoy, whoever you are? Oh, you're multi-tool. Okay. Yeah. So I still feel there's gaps in content, except yeah. Okay, give me something. 40,000 credits. Of course, the NPCs are now walking around. Let's have a quick chat with this guy. Deaf, 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 deaf. Warriors making the snarling noise. Request dialect app. Practice language skills. Well, I presume that's what it was before they give us there. So what's practice language skills? Maybe this is where the translator comes in. I mean, if you guys know, feel free, yeah. Recall some Vikini words I have learned. Sentinels, eating. Cut me off. Interpret my word as a sign of weakness. So maybe you've got to have the translator on to do that. That's interesting. We've got Vikine and these Korvax. I mean, they look a little bit. Yeah, there's just Korvax guys here. So it looks like they're actually mixing up the races on the planet as well. Sorry, I'm getting a bit distracted again, guys. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, this is all familiar, so that's good. We just have a chat with these guys. Just to confirm. Seems pleased by intellectual curiosity. There a selection of symbols, each representing a type of Korvax word. Okay. Friendship symbol. Teaches you a word of their language. We learn the Korvax word for aid. So you can actually choose categories as well. So yeah, they've definitely changed that. I think I've got to find a chair. There we are. Oh, I thought we could sit down on the chairs. Maybe you've got to be in. What's this in? Creature bait. I've got no idea what that is. And what I'm going to do is maybe if I. Nope. Okay. Look like so. Yeah. Right. Let's just get over here. Maybe you can only sit on certain chairs. Right. I think one last thing I want to look at. I just want to check the mission, guys. He's got a creature in his hand. Holographic browse missions. Yeah, so this looks all very radio silence. Yep, so the mission system is still the same as it was before. Let me just sort of change this back, guys. I'm not a big fan of third person. Right, guys, this is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found it interesting. A couple of points to wind out. Yeah, I'm really liking Beyond, but I think I really want to experience it from the start, because I just feel dropping in on the from this game. It's great if you want. I mean, I'm not really into making videos on the mechanics. I think Xaine does a fantastic job, and I think I'll just leave that to him. I just want to play the game, and I think I'm going to be starting a permadev series. I may make a couple more videos on this series. Just looking around, exploring. I certainly, especially maybe practicing the base building, but going forward, I will be kicking off my permadev series. I'm slightly worried about the potential issue of bugs and crashes, so maybe I'll wait a few days to see whether Hello Games puts out some patches to fix any potential issues, and hopefully that may settle down the issues around multiplayer. But beyond that, guys, I am very impressed. I'm really looking forward to playing the game. And standing decrease with the king. Why is my standing decreased with the Vikine? I've just been studying minding my own business. That's going to be interesting as well. And finally, if the audio doesn't sound right, feel free to put it in the comments, because I am in my new recording room and I don't have any sound absorption stuff up at the moment, so I may sound a little bit echoey. I'm not too sure at the moment. It's difficult to tell sometimes. But if you think the sound isn't really great, feel free to chuck that in the comments as well. And anything else, I mean, feel free to put in your opinions on Beyond. I mean, do you think it's working? Do you feel there's still gaps? Just feel free to chuck it in there. But this is where I'm going to leave it. Until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.